Hi all, welcome to Selenium with Java June 2021 batch online training session 13. So today in this batch I will try to cover what is hybrid framework all about in Selenium WebDriver, introductions of page object model or POM, how we can implement and set up page object model with the help of Maven project from scratch, how we can add one and more business pages to that particular framework, and as well as test cases, and with the test cases how we can add multiple assertion point in the test steps, how we can convert the full project to the TestNG project, and definitely how we can run our test case with the help of TestNG XML file, TestNG class, as well as through Maven test. So those are the different things will be covered in today's session. So what is hybrid framework? You already gone through like keyword driven and data driven framework, and you already got to know, right? In the keyword driven framework everything will be driven by the keyword, whereas data driven framework we can vary the test data for similar kind of test cases, but whereas in the hybrid framework it will be a combination of data driven and keyword driven framework, right? So hybrid framework in Selenium is a concept where testers are using the advantage of both keyword driven framework as well as data driven framework. It is an easy to use framework which allows manual tester to create test cases by just looking at the keyword, test data and object repository without coding in the framework. So here in the hybrid framework, right, where the keyword as well as the test data, so both will be taken care as part of your hybrid framework, and definitely it can be externalized, right? Instead of coding in that particular test cases, we will keeping everything in the some sort of external data sources. It can be our properties file, it can be our Excel file, right? Keyword are maintained in separate Java class file, and test data can be maintained either in a property file, Excel file, right? And can use the data provider of a TestNG framework. So what are the different advantages and disadvantages hybrid framework is having all about? The hybrid framework is built with several reusable module or function libraries that are developed with the different features, right? Maintainability. Hybrid framework significantly reduce maintenance effort because we are putting your keyword and test data separately. So in case of any kind of maintenance, right, we can easily identify the code and we can do it, right, instead of going through all the code in a single shot, right, and it will be very difficult in case we need to go through all your code, right. Reusability, because we will be creating multiple reusable test cases and library functions, so that can later point of time those test cases or library functions can be reused. Manageability, effective test design, execution, and traceability. Accessibility, easy to design, develop, modify, and debug test cases while executing. Availability, we can schedule the automation with the help of any kind of continuous DevOps tool, right? Continuous integration CI/CD tool. It can be Jenkins. Reliability, due to advanced error handlings and scenario recovery features available, so it can be more reliable. Flexibility, because it is a framework, right? So independent of system or environment under test. Measurability, it can be customizable reporting of test result, ensuring the quality output. And disadvantage, definitely some sort of disadvantage is there. It's not very much kind of critical, but like the disadvantage, initially you need to spend a lot of time for developing the framework, right? Because if you want to run a single test case, but you have to complete the design of the framework first, then you can start the designing. And definitely as your it is a framework, so tester, without having the proper knowledge cannot be easily work on the framework. So that is the reason tester need to learn the framework concept properly, a standalone part, and as well as one programming language to start work on the framework, so that after that easily can work on the framework, right? So that are the different advantage, disadvantage, and the concept of hybrid framework all about. So I'll show you how we can use the hybrid framework. So in the last sessions I already created a project for keyword driven framework, so same project I will be using for the hybrid framework as well. So in the keyword driven framework you already seen everything was driven by the keyword. So how you can create the project? So first we have created a Java project, right, which is keyword driven framework. So I have tried to provide the step as well. So we need to create the Java project. After that, we need to add the dependency, right? Jar file, dependent jar file for Selenium and Apache PY. So we have already added it here as part of the jar files. If you go to the reference library, I have already added it, Selenium and the Apache PY related jar files. So you need not worry. After that, we will be creating a test case sheet. So that is the test case sheet I already created in the last session. I am not changing anything. So same thing, whatever was showcased as part of keyword driven framework, we will be using the same framework, relevant other kind of stuff, right? So this is the test cases sheet. So where we will be trying to create two test cases for the ready page, right? One is we will open the ready page, and then we will try to enter the username and password which is invalid and click on the sign in button. That is my first test case. Second test case, I will be entering username password. After that, I am clicking on the forgot password link and I am proceeding to the next page. So that are the different kind of stuff I will be automating in my two test cases. So you can see here, this is my first column test cases, second column keyword, third column object, fourth column object type, and fifth column is the value. And this is my test case all about. Log into the ready page using build credential. First, I am keyword is navigate to URL and I am setting the value of the URL. Second is I want to set the username and password with that object type is ID and name, and this is my value, and I want to click on the sign in button. So that is my first test case all about. And second test case is that I want to click on the forgot password link after entering the user ID password. So I am navigating to the URL, I am entering the user ID password, I am clicking on the forgot password link, right? So that are the different two test cases. So in the two test cases there were total 10 steps associated. One is test cases and fourth step, and another is second one is test case and fourth step. So first kind of row is for your heading part, right? So that is the first part. You need to create a sheet. So this is my sheet name is testcases.xlx, and this is my tab name, right? Keyword framework, right? So this is the first part. Sorry, third step. Fourth step, I am creating a property file. So I have already created property file in the project itself. This is the object.properties files, where I have passing the URL, which is nothing but the ready page URL, right? This is my URL, I am passing it here. And then username, right? For the username field, the relevant kind of for the username field, right? So I have tried to identify the username field with the help of ID, password with the help of name, sign in button with the help of name. So username ID, right? If you want to inspect F12 button here, so that's value I have given, ID value, username ID value. So let's try to press F12 button here, right? Once I press the F12 button here, second, so I can inspect the element. Yeah, so if I press the F12 button, so I can inspect the element. Okay, so if I move your inspect button, right, you can see for the username field, yeah, so for the username field ID is login one, right? So here I have tried to give the object type as ID. So that is the reason in that particular properties file I am giving the name value. Similarly for the password I am trying to recognize with the help of name. So I am also giving that password name, right? Similar way for each and every field, right? Name is pass with WD, right? So I am also giving that value here. Similarly for each in every field I am trying to give that relevant value in the properties file. So that is my second part. So sign in button, so I am also matching it with that field, right? Object name, here the properties, and that value I am entering in my object properties file. Similarly forgot password, that is my element and that is my value and that is my attribute forgot password, right? I want to link with the link, right? So that's why these are the two steps. First I am doing after creating the Java project, I am associating all the Java file, Apache PY, a relevant jar file to the project. I am creating the test cases, I am creating the object properties, right? Then I need to read the object, I mean write properties file. So here in that particular src file I have created multiple packages, right? one is operations, one is test cases, one is Excel import and file IO. So if you go to the operations, I have created a class called read properties files. So if you go to the properties files, first I am reading that object properties. So with the help of properties class, I am creating a object properties, then I am creating a get object repository method, then with the help of input stream I am reading that properties file, I am loading it, I am returning it, right? Here you can see the system dot get properties user directory I have given. So it is nothing, it will give you the project location, means that path of the keyword driven project. After that I am appending here that object, right? This is the object or properties extension, so that it will give me the proper path. So that is the another class I have created as my fifth step. Then I am creating a class to capture all operation and element locator technique, which is nothing but the keyword operations dot java class. If you open first, I am declaring a global variable for the web drivers, right? Then I am creating a method here for get object, right? For each and every different element locator type, I am trying to read it, right? In case it is XPath, so it will return by.xpath. In case class name, right? ID, CSS, link, partial links, everything. In case it is nothing match with that 8 element locator or 7 element locator, it will throw that wrong object type. So that is the one method I am creating here for capturing that element locator. Then next one is that I am trying to match what are the different kind of operation I want to perform, whether I want to perform click, whether I want to perform to the navigate to the URL, whether I want to perform set text. So whatever is relevant, you can add those case as part of switch case statement, right? So in case it is a click, I just want to go to the object and then I am clicking it. In case it is set text, right? So how it is coming? So it is coming from here, everything. So whatever keyword I have given, so those keyword I am trying to define in my class keyword operation, right? And this is my attribute. I am also trying to create a method, right? ID, name, link, everything here. So that's why I am creating two important method here, right? One is for capturing different element locator technique, and one is for different kind of operations, click, set, to navigate. Then as part of my 7th step, right, I am creating an Excel utility, right, where I am reading the Excel, right? So this is my class, which is nothing but the read Excel file keywords. So I already discussed in the last session that in case it is XLS, right, you already know, right, we need to read the workbook with the help of HSSF, right? In case it is XLS X or 2007 or not, it will be XSSF, right? So here I am trying to read the Excel sheet with the help of first file path, then the file name, and then the sheet name. So file path, definitely that is the path I need to give it here. So project path, then test case dot xlsx, right? And then the file name is nothing but that the test case dot xlsx the file name, and the sheet name is the keyword framework, right? So that's why if you already covered, so if you go to it, right, you can definitely get to know how we are reading the data, right? And then we are going to the sheet. So once we go to the sheet, definitely we need to go to the row and then column and the cell value, right? First I need to go to the path of the Excels, and then the sheet name of the Excels, and then the tab name of the sheet, and then the row, column, and cell. I already discussed multiple times, so in case you are not comfortable, please go through the comments. So I also tried to write down what is the objective of each and every lines of code, right? So you can get to know definitely. First you need to go to the locations, right? Then the sheet name, then the tab name, right? Then your row, then column, and then cell. That's why we can validate it. Then here in the test cases sheet, I have created the test cases. So I think keyword driven test case was like that only, run test cases, but here for hybrid driven I have created test cases. So hybrid you already know, right? You need to read, right, the keyword. You need to execute the keyword as well as the data. So if you know, right, with the help of TestNG, right, data provider, we can read the data. So first we have created a data provider, right, where we are creating an object. This is the method name. First I am defining the object is null, right? Then then I'm creating a object or instance for the read Excel's keyword, right? Read Excel's keyword, that is the class. Then I am going to a sheet. So where sheet is there, so definitely I am reading the sheet with the help of read Excel's method, whatever is mentioned here, right? Because that is the we have mentioned read Excel. So I will be giving the path, because that is the class. I am creating an object or instance for the class first, right? Read files Excel file keyword, and then I am, with the help of the object or instance, I am directly calling the method, right? What is the method name? Read Excel. So whenever you will be reading the method name, you have to give the all the important properties. One is the file name, sorry, file path, file name, and the seed name. So I am trying to giving it here, right? This is the file path, and then this is the file name, and this is the your tab or seed name, right? Then side that differently as per that class, right? I have written, right? So I am directly going to the sheet, right? This is the sheet class. Then I need to go to the row, right? So what is the row count? How will be identifying the row? So I am going to the first row and last row, and differentiation of the first row and last row. Last row is the total number of unique row. So definitely, as the first row is the header, so definitely I no need to worry about that first row. So I can get the differentiation, how many row number is get available, right? So that's why I am getting the differentiation of get last row number and get first row number. Then I am creating a object which is the row count. I will getting at as a kind of dynamic value, because in case you are adding the row counts, right, it will be changed, but here column count is not changed, so I am getting it fixed. So you can see the column number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is the reason I am column count, I am giving it fixed. Then I am trying to loop for an for loop, where I am I equal to starting for 0, I getting to the less row count, I plus plus, but row I am reading from the I plus 1, that means from the first one, right? That one I am trying to read the row, because that is my header, so there is no point of reading that one, right? So that is the reason I am getting the row count as I plus 1, where I is starting from 0. So that is that I am ignoring it. So that's why I am trying to go to the iterate to the row 1, and then again I am creating another inner loop, which is the inner loop. So that is I is the for outer loop for iterating to the row, and the inner loop is iterating to the column, right, or cell. So row and column equal to cell. So that is the reason I am using two loops, right? For every I there will be every j, and I will be getting I and j, which is the object, and from where I can get, I will go to the row, and then I can get the cell value, means that part, and right, for each and every cell. In case any cell value is there, I will be converting it to the string, right? Then I am converting to the string. So for each and every cell, I will be giving a some sort of space. That is the reason I am giving in. After that, I am returning the object. So that is the reason here in data provider, whatever method I am returning, I return here. Method name is get data provider from the data provider. Return type is the object. So that's why data provider part was done. Then in that you already notice I am creating a global variable web driver. So I am calling that, I am using a test case, which is @test, where I am calling the data provider, same name, data provider name, right? You already seen the test-ng. If you forgot it, just try to go through that test-ng related stuff. And I am creating a method which is nothing but test login, where I am trying to give all the important details, right? First I want to go to the test cases, that is the second is keyword, third is the object name, object type, and last one is the value based on my Excel sheet. The first one is my test cases, keyword, object, object type, and value. That's why I am trying to read 5 different things, right? So in case my test case is not equal to null and length not equal to null, I am every time I am opening the Chrome browser, because right, so I will start it from here, right? So here this means is test cases, that is the reason value is present. But for the other one, what the other one is the action, right, or steps. So here value is not present, that means it will be, we need to perform the action, and here this is the test cases, no action is there. So every time as and when it will match, right, that some value is present in my first column, right. So I will try to open every time a new Chrome browser, and then other one, remaining one, I will try to perform the operation based on the keyword object type and value is present, right. Then definitely, so for whatever class I am creating, for every class I am creating object, and then I am calling that operations perform here, right. So here in the keyword operation there is a perform, right, method was there, I am calling it, and then if you, after that, if you run your code, you can see it will run your keyword driven framework based on the data as well as keyword. So let's try to run it, and let's see whether it is running properly or not for the hybrid framework. So where we are calling the data variation, each and every data variation, as well as we are trying to operate based on the keyword given. So we have two test cases. So if we exclude the first row where is the header, so we will be having two test cases, and for each and every test case there will be 5 different steps. One is the test cases and 4 is the keyword and relevant action. So it is trying to execute first test case. So whatever is given in the Excel, it will try to open the web page, it will try to perform the operations, right, and it will go for the second test case again, and then it will try to perform the other operations. Okay. So first test case, entering username and password, clicking on the sign in button, then error message is coming. After that, it will go for the second test case where it will enter the username and password, and then it will click on the forgot password, right. So you can find here for each and every step you will get the details, and each and every step will be considered as the test cases, right. So that is the difference between the keyword and hybrid driven framework, because in the keyword driven framework you are going as per the keyword, but here you will be going as per the keyword as well as you are going as per the data. That is the reason each and every step is considering as the test cases here. So it will enter the password and username, and it will click on the forgot password link. It might take some time because of the ready page sometimes used to load take extra time to load it. So you can see the both the test cases are working. Okay. Now go to the consoles and see whether your both the all the test cases and all the relevant step is passed or failed. Now you can see here total number of run equal to 10 and failure 0, right. So we are written here two test cases, but here 10 step. This is the one step, 2 step, 3, 4, right, 5. This is the for first test case there is 5 step including the test cases description. For the second test case there are also 5 step. So that is the reason is considering 10th step. You can see here, right, that is the 10th step, and if you go to the console for each and every step you will get the details, right. For the first one, that is the method name. I have written in that one test cases. What is the method name? Method name is test login. So that is the method name, and then you can see here based on that one, right, what is the output? Method name, first the test case name, then the keyword, then object name, then object type, and then value, right. And for the first test cases there was no corresponding value, keyword and object and value, so it is coming as blank everything. The test case name and everything is coming as blank. For the second step, test case's name is blank, then the navigate to URL, right, that is the keyword and that is the value, otherwise blank. So it is matching. For the third one, test case's name is blank, then set text is your method name, username and value, right, object type and the object value. Set text, password, object name, object value. Click, sign in, object name, there is no value because I am clicking it. Similarly for the second test case, if you go it here, right, click on the forgot password link here, right, so there is no appropriate value here, and then as part of your keyword it is coming as that navigate to URL value, set text, username, ID, password, right, set text, password, name and password value, and then click forgot password link. So that's why it is working. Okay. So that is the basic difference between the keyword and hybrid dependent framework. So I did not change anything. So your first 7 step is same for your keyword and hybrid dependent framework. So I think in the last session I already covered it. Only I have changed that particular, created a one test case for the hybrid framework, which is where I have just created only few steps. Sorry. So one is I am creating a data provider where I am returning the object, and where I am trying to read it right from that Excel sheet, then locations, and then the tab sheet name, right, and I want to validate each and every rows, right, and I convert them into string. So I will be using two for loop, one is the inner for loop, one is the outer for loop. So with the help of inner for loop I am going to the row wise, and with the help of outer for loop, with the help of outer for loop I am going to the row wise, and with the help of inner for loop for each and every row I am going to the each and every cell. Then I am column, right, then I am going to the row and column combination, I am going to the cell, and each and every cell I am trying to convert it to a string. So that is the reasons, that is return type is object, and whenever I am creating, right, data provider, so return type is also object and public. Then with the help of data provider I am creating a test case. With the help of @test annotation I am creating a test method, which is the test login, where I am trying to read 5 different columns whatever insert in my test cases, right. One is the test case, keyword, object, object type and value, right, and then as and when in case test cases is containing some value, every time I want to open the Chrome diagram, right, and then I want to perform the operations based on the keyword operations, right, that perform methods declared in my keyword operation class. So that's why I am trying to read each and every keyword, each and every test data combinations, and each and every row excluding the first row. So that is the reason each and every row will be considered as a test cases here, right. So whatever is in case of keyword, in case of data, I want to read it. That is the reason for hybrid framework. So I want to read with the help of keyword or with the help of data value, right. So each and every step will be considered as test case. You can see total number of step executed test, so it is 10 and there is no failure, right, and you can get the details also in that console output. So you can get the holistic pictures, what in case of any problem, any failure, you can get it, right. The test case will fail, also you can get the details of the failure test case. Okay. So is it understandable? So I did not create anything. So first 7 step is same, only 8 step I have created a new class for the hybrid framework, and I have tried to read it with the help of data provider as well as with the help of keyword. So that is the only difference. Otherwise first 7 step is still same. So first I have created a Java project, and as it is Java project, so I have already know with the help of Apache PY I can read and write the Excel sheet. So definitely I have added the Selenium and Apache PY jar file to the project. I have created a test case sheet, and I have placed in the same project location, where I have tried to create 5 different columns. One is the test cases name, second one is the operations or keyword actions, third one is your object, then fifth one is your object element locator name, and fifth one is your value. And for each and every locators, right, the corresponding value I have tried to portray in my properties file. And first I am loading the properties file with the help of an external class created. Then I am creating another class where I am trying to capture all operations and all element locator technique. I want to match whether in case ID it will try to go for the ID, in case XPath it will go for the XPath, in case it is CSS, or in case it is a link, partial link, like that. And for each and every operation, whether it's a link, whether it's a click, whether it's a set text, whether it's a navigate to URL, whether it's a verification, I can add every operation. Then I will be creating another class where I am trying to read the Excel file. First I am going to the path, then I am going to the sheet name, and then I am going to the tab name, right, and then I am going to the row, and then column, and then the cell, and then I am reading the data, right. And I am creating a test cases, right, which is nothing a test-ng class, and with the help of @test annotation and with the help of @data provider, I am creating a test cases for hybrid framework, and I am reading all the keyword or and the test data, right, and I am trying to execute the test cases accordingly, right. So that's why you can execute or create your hybrid framework. Okay, so that is the only difference between the hybrid and the keyword driven framework. Okay, so I'll go for the next topic. Let's close it. So it will take some time, right? You need to analyze the code few more times, otherwise it will be trouble, right? Because it's a complete framework and it will be not be easy. So that is the reason whatever you have learned so far, and right now I'll be creating a framework from the scratch, right? So I'll show you that everything will be required, right? Nothing will be new for you. Most of the thing I already covered. A few things definitely I did not cover, just like the report ng or extended report or the log4j I will be covering as part of your framework. Okay. So next part I will try to cover is what is the page object model, right? So I already covered all the framework. What is the data driven framework, keyword and hybrid framework. So now I will try to give you the important concept of page object model, which is the nothing but the POM. So page object model in Selenium is a design pattern that creates a repository of objects such as button, input fields, image, link, hyperlink and any kind of other element, right? The main objective of using POM in Selenium is to reduce code duplication and improve the maintenance of test in the future. So here in the keyword driven hybrid framework, right, as we are not following any protocol, you already see it, right? So we are trying to create an Excel file, but in the Excel file we are creating multiple test cases, but for each and every test case, each and every pages, right, we are not able to identify that which pages, what are the different element or element locator value we are trying to enter. But in case you are introducing the page object model concept, you can get to know that for each and every page, right, you will be creating a separate class, and in that class you will be maintaining all the important attributes and all the important methods. So later point of time, if something is removed or something is added, you can directly go to that particular page class instead of going through the other class, and you can directly update it. So that is the beauty of page object model concept. Okay. So user will create class file for each web page in the page object model, right? This class file consists of different web elements present on the web page. Moreover, the test script then use this element to perform different actions. Since each page's web element are in a separate class file, the codes become easy to maintain and reduces code duplicity. What are the basic advantages POM is having? One is help with easy maintenance. POM is useful when there is a change in the UI element or there is a change in the action. Suppose initially there was a radio button, right, but it now has been changed with checkbox. So definitely there is no need to go through all the lines of code. Suppose say there are 10,000 number lines of code, so it is not possible for you to go through, right? Instead of that, you will directly go to that page and you will go identify that particular field, and then you will update either expert CSS and the properties. Then you can easily do it, right? Then the next one is helps with reusing code, because for each and every page you will be creating, right, multiple actions, or you can also kind of combine actions to a greater actions, right? And as and when required, you can recall those methods instead of creating against another kind of method. That is the called reusability. So reusability of the code, right? Reusability of the method. So you will be writing once and you will be using multiple times. That then you can save time and effort. And the readability and reliability of the script, right? This is the very important. When all skill have independent Java files, one can easily identify actions that will be performed on a particular screen by navigating through the Java file. If a change must be made to a certain section of code, it can be efficiently done without affecting the other files. So that is the beauty of importance of the page object model. So whenever you will be trying to create a page object model design pattern with the help of, right, any kind of framework or that Maven project, so you need to maintain that folder structure. Definitely, in case of a big project, so you will be introducing a lot of things, so you need to customize your frame a little bit, but that is the base part. I have worked as of now till now. Okay, till now I have worked, right? So this is the best part. Every time I have tried to create the project, Maven project. So as and will be creating the Maven project, there is four folder structure. You can find it: src main Java, src test Java, src main resources, src test resources. These are the primary four folders that we will be having. So in the src main Java, we will be creating primarily four packages. So folder, then packages, and then class, right? Especially for the src main Java or src test Java. This is the two part where I will be creating the packages and then class. So I will be creating the pages, com.form.pages, com.form.base, com.form.listeners, and com.form.test cases in the src test Java packages. So in the pages, for each and every pages, I will be creating the different class where we will be adding different web element value, and also the importance method to perform each and every operation. Similarly, in the test base class, we will be setting up the browser and the website to execute test script, right? And then the test listener class, we can add kind of different kind of customs log after implementing the listeners, and here also we can create a separate class for kind of for reading the utilities. 1 second, why it is not coming? Okay, somehow it has got removed here. So there will be another folder called utilities, right? So where we will be creating a class for all the utilities, right? Utilities means if you want to create your screenshot, right, you need to create extend report, or if you want to kind of use some listeners part, right, you can also need to use that in the src main Java, right? Package name will be com.form.utilities, and your class will be test utilities. And then in the src test Java, you will be creating a package called com.form test cases, and where you will be creating your test cases based on the requirement test case or should. And in the resources, src test resources, you will be creating different folders, not the packages, because resources you will be creating different resources folder. One is test data, executable files, properties, and the log. Test data, if you want to maintain some test cases sheet for test data, you can create a test data folder. Executables mean whatever driver you are dealing, it's iDriver, Firefox driver, or Gcode driver, right? You need to place all the driver in the executable folder instead of any location. Suppose in case you are keeping driver in C drive or D drive, but whenever other person will be working, right, they will not able to recognize your C drive or D drive. Instead of that, all the driver will be keeping in that project itself, so that your path will not be changed, right? Similarly, I can create a properties folder where I can create the files for config and log4j properties, and log also. In case I want to generate any application log or kind of other log, right, I can also create a folder. So that will be folder structure. Okay. So let's try to go for create a new Maven project here. New project, Maven project. So please create a Maven project. Select create a simple project, checkbox, click on the next. Here group ID you can give it, suppose okay. So that is the group ID and artifact I am giving it, right? So after that I am clicking on the finish. So immediately that project will be created here in the project explorer. Okay, you can see June 2021 training batch, that is the project name already created. If you expand it, it will take some time. Let's go to the file and refresh. It is still working. You can see workspace is 0% set. It might take 1 to 2 minutes time, because lot of folders still be created by default. Okay, so please be remember to create a Maven project. So it's 99% done, it's 100% done now, right? Now if you open that project, right, June 2021 training batch project, you can see here there were primarily 4 folders that was created, right? SRC main Java, SRC main resource, SRC test Java, SRC test resource, right? And pom.xml file by default created, and there is a SRC folder created and target folder created. So target folder you will not able to find anything until you are executing some test cases, right? So this is your 4 folder structure. So I will be using 3 folder here: SRC main Java, SRC test Java, SRC test resources. In the SRC main Java, I will be creating 4 different packages, right, based on the thing I have given here. Okay, so let's try to create the packages first. Okay, so utilities part was removed, right? So this is the 4 packages I will be create first. So just select that folder here. So that's why you can create your framework from the scratch. Select the folder SRC main Java. So you need to remember SRC main Java folder, you will be create all the things which is apart from your test cases. So I will be creating a for pages where I will be capturing all the pages details, right? Then I will be creating another for the base class packages. So I will be creating everything in irrelevant packages so I can easily identify it. So that is the reasons, like whenever you are creating a framework, it should be more reliable, right? You no need to worry about where you have written everything. Listener class, if you want to capture any listener, like I test listener, I should listener, so you will be capturing, you will be creating listener class in the relevant packages. Then utilities 1, then in the SRC test Java I will be creating 1 packages, right? So as per my table I have given, where I will be keeping all my test cases. So SRC test Java I will be creating another package only for my capturing my test cases, right? So that is done, package creation is done. So I have created 5 different packages, right? 4 is SRC main Java, 1 is SRC test Java. Then in the test resources folder I will be creating 4 different folder structure, not the packages, because resources will be having only the folder, right? So right click here, click on the new, right? Click on the other here, right? And you can select a folder, right, instead of thing. So folder, and click on the next. So I will be creating a folder. 1 is for test data, in case if you want to deal with any test data, you can place it here. So test data folder. Similarly I can copy it and I can paste it multiple times. So then my will be executable folder. Then properties folder. You can copy these 2 folder here, and you can want to paste it. So I will be creating another folder called properties, and another one will be log. So this is the 4 folder I will be creating in my resources. So this is the basic structure has been created, right? So first part, you need to create a Maven project, and you need to worry about 3 different folder: SRC main Java, SRC test Java, and SRC test resources. In the SRC test resources folder, you will be creating 4 folder of executables, log, properties, test data. SRC main Java will be creating 4 different packages: base, listeners, pages, and utilities. And SRC test Java will be creating a packages for test cases, right? So that is your structure is done. Then you need to go to the pom.xml file. So first today I will try to create a normal test cases. So if you want to deal with normal test case, Java is already there in your project. So you need to add some dependencies, right? So what are the dependencies? Dependencies will be your Selenium dependency you need to add, and you need to also add the test engine dependency. So these are the 2 dependencies you add, right? So first in the project I will be adding 2 dependencies. First I will be adding dependency tag. So this is the Maven project I am creating, right? This is the Maven project I have created. Yeah, that is the whenever as and when you will be creating a Maven project, by default pom.xml will be there, right? So what is the importance of the Maven project? Because we will be not be adding the jar file right into the project. Instead of that, we will be adding the dependency through the pom.xml file. So automatically your jar file will be associated to your project. Okay. So in case you missed my Maven session, you can go through once. Now you can see there is no jar file is there, right? Only the Java related jar file is there. So I will be not be adding manually any jar file. So as and when something is required, I will be adding as part of dependency tag. Okay. So by default, if you open to the pom.xml file and if you go to the pom.xml tab, so you need to add the dependency, and definitely it will be close with the dependency tag. So first, for the basic part, you need to add two dependency. One is the Selenium dependency and another one is your TestNG dependency. Okay. So this is the kind of URL, right? mavenrepository.com. Here you need to search with that one, Selenium Java dependency. If you click on the search button, you can get all the dependency. So Selenium Java part, you can click on that. So here we will be not be downloading the jar file and will not be associating it. Instead of that, we will be adding the dependency, and once you save the dependency, automatically your jar file will be added to your project. What is the benefit? Because suppose say today you are using version 3, tomorrow you need to use version 5. So in case you are manually associating the jar file, what you need to do? You need to again download version 5, right, jar file, and you need to go to the project, you need to remove the version 3 file, and you need to again add the version 5. But here in the Maven project, instead of that, we will be just changing the dependency. So automatically the previous one will be archived and new one will be added, associated. So that is the beauty of the Maven project. Okay, because Maven is very important, so you need to please go through the session in case you missed it. So I think I covered one session only specific to Maven. So suppose say this is my stable version, so you can need to go to the stable one where most of the people have used, right? So I can go to 3.14.1 and that is the dependency. You just simply copy paste, right? This is the Maven dependency. Copy and just paste it here under the dependencies tag. So this is the one dependency for Selenium Java. Then I will be adding one more dependency for TestNG. Just type it here, you can get it, TestNG dependency. So go to any stable version, so I can go for that one and simply I will copy it and I will be pasting it under the dependencies tag. So multiple dependency can be added into the dependencies tag, right? So it will be dependencies, CIES dependencies, and also I need to close with dependencies. Okay, I think it's gone. Okay, so before the project you need to first add two tag which is called dependencies, and under the dependencies tag you need to add multiple dependency. Then you need to save it, Control S. So once you save, you can see it is building workspace, right, which is 32%. So it will take couple of minutes, even 1 to 2 minutes time. So what will happen? All your jar file will be added to your project. So you no need to add. You can see Maven dependency folder is getting created here, right? So if you expand it, you can see all your Selenium jar file or your TestNG jar file will be added automatically from that dependencies tag. So that is the beauty of Maven project. So you no need to manually add the jar file. Once you need to go to the pom.xml file and you need to add your dependencies, and you need to sync your project so that everything will be synced. Okay. Then what I will do, that is your first part, right? After creating the project, you need to, hello, yeah. So you just press Control S, so automatically it will be synced. Control S. Yeah, it will be, yeah, right. It will trying to download all the dependencies. You no need to worry anything. Just in case you are changing or something, you just need to press Ctrl S or save button. Okay, so automatically it will try to do it. Then, right, I will go to my properties files. Sorry, first one I'll go to the executable files. So I will try to add all the drivers. So I will be using here Chrome and G code driver. I will copy it and I will paste it in the executable files. So your driver is added to your project instead of accessing in your drive. Because why you are adding it, right? Because suppose say today that project is exported by someone, and if that person is want to run it, right, in case that those executable file is exe file is not available in your project, so your path will not be correct, right? Because we are initially you see, right, we are accessing on local path, C drive or do drive we press. Instead of that, we are replacing everything in the project itself, so that path will not change. So that is the second part. Third part, I will be creating a properties file here. So if you go to the properties, right click here, new file, okay, file extension. So please be remember, I can give any name, so I can give config, but extension should be always properties, small letter, everything is cap letter, sorry, lowercase, properties, properties file. So here I can create some important thing, right, is that whatever browser I want to execute, right, so I'll be using browser, right. I can use app URL, right, whatever URL I want to access, application URL, right. And if you want to give some implicit time, right, you can give it implicit timeout. So I mean in the real time project you need to give some implicit timeout, implicit time. So that are the different whatever thing you want to give it in the config file, you can give it apart from your browser, apart from your kind of element locator and element locator. Suppose browser I want to execute with the help of Chrome browser, right? So you can change it, only you need to change it here. If you want to do with iBrowser, Firefox, you can need to change it. Application URL, suppose say I want to automate some application, right, Facebook, I want to automate that one, and I'll be creating test cases here, so I will be giving that URL, okay. Implicit time, suppose say I want to wait for 30 seconds, so you need to give it is equal sign. That is your next step, right. Then once its config properties file has been set to the basic properties, and definitely every time you need to customize it, just I am giving a simple example, okay. So you no need to worry, so you can whenever in the real time project lot of things you need to implement, but it's kind of starting point, right. So there is no end, okay. Then you need to go to the base class, sorry, base package, then you need to create a base class. So what is the importance of the base class? You can get to know here, right? The base class is setting up a browser and website to execute test script, creating important method for identifying web properties, right? So that is the base class. So I'll be creating a class here, new class. Suppose say I can give the test this, that is the class. No need to select public static void main. Everything will be driven by your test engine, because I have added the dependency, right, for test engine and Selenium. So in the base class you can define some global variable, right. So you need to remember whenever it's a framework, will be defining some global variable. Suppose first one will be public static. So I already mentioned we can declare static, so that there is no need to create the object or instance for that class. You can directly access that one, right. So public static, first one will be defining the variable called WebDriver. Okay, we need to import it, WebDriver. Then second one, as it is a config file, right, I need to read it, right. So how can I read it? Okay, so with the help of properties file, right, properties. properties, suppose prof equal to new properties.
I think we can also use WebDriver Manager, right, just to work on this.
Yeah, you can use
Array.
it. Yeah, right, WebDriver Manager. But I most of the time I use that one only. So nowadays people are using WebDriver Manager. So also I am defining it same way, public static properties equal new properties. So let's try to load the properties. So I mean lot of things can be implemented, but basic part just I am trying to cover how we can set the framework. After that, once your framework setup done, you can do anything. Okay, whatever customization you want to do, you can do it. Then I want to read it, right, the properties file with the help of file input stream. So I'll be creating another one, public static file input stream. That is the class, and variable I'm declaring a file input stream. I need to also import that one, right? Okay, so that is done. Then I'll be creating two method here. One is the setup method and one is the tear down method. So setup method, I want to launch the browser. Tear down method, I want to quit the browser. So I'll be creating two methods, public void setup. That is my method, and one method is the tear down, just closing the browser. So whenever you will be creating any framework, please remember that you are using the standard protocol, right? So that any point of time other person can easily understand it. Otherwise, in case you are going through your own concept, right, it will be very difficult for the other person, even for you also. Suppose say 1 year, after 1 year if you want to rework the framework, right, if you want to revamp something, it will be tough for you. So that is the reason whenever we are, every organization, whenever you are using the framework, everybody need to follow some protocol or practice, right? Here for the tear down, I will be creating the driver, right? So driver.close or driver.quit, I can do it. Driver.close. As I have created the variable global, right? This is my global variable, so it's accessible everywhere, all the project, all the method. And then the setup method, what I will do, so I will try to, right, get the properties file. Okay, so that particular part I already declared it variable. So how I will read it, fi is equal to new file input stream, and here I need to give the path, right? So what path I will be giving you, I already told, right, that project path I will be get with the help of system.get property and then user.directory. So that path I am giving directly. So here in the first bracket, so I will be giving system dot get properties, right? You can see get property, there is something options coming, right, and user.directory within the double quote .dir, right? So you can directly get the details of the project path, right? And then you will be concatenating with the other one. Yeah. Plus sign, and here I am giving the other path. So what is the other path? I am giving with a double quote, right? So that path I already got with the help of that one. Other path, right, src test resources. So src src test resources properties folder, right? After I go to the test resources, I'll be going to the properties folder, properties folder, then config.properties file name, right, config dot config.property. So that's why I'll be recognizing that file. Let's close it. Okay. Now some error message will be coming. It either we need to throw declaration or surround with try catch block. Let's try to go with the throw declaration. So I can use exception. So I already able to read the file, right? Then I want to load the file, right? So how I load it? With the help of prof variable, whatever I've created here, prof dot load. So you already seen the last session, right? Keyword driven framework, how to load it. Load. So what I'll be loading it? I'll be loading the FIs. So my loading is done. So I am trying to recognize or read the configurator properties file. Okay. So after the load is done, then I will be using some if statement. If here I want to read prof, right, dot get property. Okay, here it will be only control S. Get property. What is the property I want to read? What is the key? Suppose I want to read that key is browser. Right? Suppose say I want to check whether the browser dot equals ignore case. Equal ignore case. Right? In case it is equal to suppose say Chrome. Right? Then what will we do? I'll be setting the properties for the Chrome driver, right? So system dot set property property web driver dot Chrome driver dot driver web driver dot Chrome dot driver, and I need to close with second bracket, and value here I will be directly giving that value, right? So let's try to give the value here with the help of that one. So because that thing is already loaded here, right? Let's try to change it. So here I already loaded here, right, executable files. So system dot get property user directory, then src, then src test resources, and then your executable. So I need to change executables instead of properties. exe cutables executables, and then your Chrome driver dot exe. So that's why I'll be recognizing it, and I think only one tick is required and closing it. One second. Then with the help of driver I will be launching the Chrome driver, right? New Chrome driver. So I need to import that Chrome driver class. So that is the first part. Then else if I can give multiple condition in case you are having multiple driver, right? IE driver, Firefox driver, you can give it the other condition as well. If its browsers equal to, right, Firefox, say, right? So here it will be gco webdriver dot gco driver, and here it will be driver name will be gco driver instead of Firefox driver. JCKO, G code driver, and here you need to instead of Chrome driver it will be Firefox driver. Okay, we need to import it, the Firefox driver class, right? So that's why in case you are having multiple driver, iDriver, you can do it, right? Then you can open your URL, right? So once it is done, then I am driver.get, right? Get, then here your prof.get property what is the thing you want to read it here? You need to want to read it application URL. Right. After that, I want to maximize the driver.manage .window .maximize. Then whatever explicit timeout we have given, right? So here everything will be considered as string. So whatever 30 you have given, everything will be considered as string. So we need to convert it to the integer, right? After that I want to go for string, because this whenever implicit timeout will be reading it, right? Either in case it is not able to read with 3 integer, it will not able to correctly recognize. But whatever value you are giving in the configure properties file, everything will be string. So you need to convert them into the sparse way, right? Use the help of that relevant class, right? I think 1 second. Let's try driver.manage .timeouts, right? Dot implicit wait, and in the argument here we'll be converting it, that one argument 1 will be converting into the parseInt, right? So integer wrapper class integer dot 1 second. Implicit wait, let's try to go for integer dot parseInt, right? We need to convert it to the relevant integer parseInt, and here I will be going as per the prof file, prof.get property. And what is my key here? My key will be that one. That will be my key, and then I will be covering it here, and then I will be going for another way, prof.get properties, and then I will be going for that time unit second, right? Time unit dot seconds, because I want to wait for 30 seconds, so it will be time unit seconds, and I will be closing it out. Let's see, any error message? No. Okay, that's fine. So this is my base class for now. Definitely I will be customizing my base class at a point of time. Any point of time I can customize it. So I have created 2 methods. One is for my setup for the browser part and my URL part, as well as my kind of implicit timeout or whatever I have given, and I also created one more called teardown, which is closing the browser. So that is my test base class I have created. Then I will go for the com.form.pages class. I will be creating a page class. Suppose I will be automating my Facebook, right? So there are multiple pages I can automate. Suppose this is my home page, so I will be created a class for Facebook, so that you can easily identify. So that's why you need to give your name, home page, application home page. So I will be creating a class for home page. So let's right now I will not be using the concept for your page object model, simply I will be trying to create important two method here. So one is, suppose say here I want to enter the email and password. Let's check whether anything is coming working or not. Public void enter email. So that is the method I am trying to create it here. So here I want to pass driver dot, and definitely whenever you are creating the any class, right, you need to extend the base class every time. So otherwise important method will not be coming in, right? Extend what is the name, test base. So every time for each and every page you need to extend it, need to import it. So driver dot find element, suppose say for the enter email, let's try to inspect something. So what is the ID? ID is email, so I can go with that driver dot find element by dot ID. ID is email, right? So in case it is ID, so I can send something kind of send this. Suppose so that's what I want to enter, and I think we need to close with that one. Okay. Similarly for that enter password, I will be creating another method, enter Daud, I am just keeping you mute, okay, so that okay. So another one I will be creating, so the password field, so I will be trying to identify with the help of ID equal to pass pass. So here I can pass, that is the password I am only, that is the ID I want to give it, or email. Okay, so that is a simple thing I have created as part of my page. Then so first thing is that properties file I have created, executable file I have loaded, in the base class I have created, and the pages I have created. Then I will be creating my test cases here, right? So let's try to create the test cases here. So new class, suppose say test Facebook home page, right? Creating class here. So here I'll be using some add the test annotation, right? And I'll be creating a method public, or here instead of that one I can create some testng class, right? Instead of Java class. Let's do not save it, let's remove it. So here instead of Java class I can directly create a testng class. New class other testng class. So test AB home page. So automatically at the test annotation will be coming. Here you can change your name, test Facebook home page, right? So this is your method name. So how you will be calling all the methods? So for that class you need to create an object or instance. First here, or you can create a Facebook home page, right? So that is the object I am creating, new Facebook home page, right? Now I can call all the method directly with the help of that one. Need to import it. Then now I'll be creating that method and I'll be first calling the setup method, right? Setup method. You can see. Then I'll be calling that method whatever created here, right? Enter email and enter password. Let's try to enter email and enter password. We need to surround with some throws declaration. That's fine. Exception. Let's save it and let's try to run it and let's see whether it's running properly or not. Okay, let's try to run it now. So everything in your project only. We are not calling anything outside your project. So it will open your Facebook page. It will open first the Chrome browsers based on the browser settings given. It will open the Facebook page. It is maximizing the page. It is entering the email and password. You can see whatever is given. So it is working properly, right? So that's why you can just try to set up your basic project. After that, lot of things, customization part, anything can be done. Okay. So that's how you can do it. Now let's try to comment out this part and also try to comment out this part. Okay. Now I'll go with the concept of page object model, right? So what is the concept of page object model? So for each and every page, right, we need to, right, create important methods as well as we need to create all the important properties in that particular page only. So whatever, right, thing I want to access it, right, I'll be adding in the relevant page. So Facebook homepage class, whatever I've created, I want to access everything here. So here you can see, like, first I need to click on that English UK, otherwise everything is in different language, right? Bengali language here. So I will be inspecting that one, right? So I will be creating a element here. So here you need to create first element with the help of by, and then you can give the name, suppose say English UK, then so that you can easily identify it, right? Or English UK equal to by dot, through which I will be identifying it. So here you can see it is a link, right? So I can identify with the link text with that keyword, right? So by dot link text and then keyword I will be giving it. So and then you need to code as well. So whatever object, right, you want to use, you can add it. Suppose in case in the page there is a currently lot of object, all the object is there, but right now definitely there is no point of adding everything. So whatever you will be using it right now, so that you can use it, right? So in case later point of time you need to remove something in, or you need to add something, you can easily add in your relevant class. So that is the beauty here, right? Why message is coming? Okay, fine. Okay, now once I click on the English UK, then I'll be entering the email, right? So let's try to go for email. So I can go with that ID email, right? I can go for similar way, I can go for by email field. I'll be creating email field equal to by dot ID. What is my ID? ID is my email. That is my second part. Similarly, I can create more thing for password value. I can similarly go for pass, right? And then I'll be going for the sign in button, that login button. So button name is login, so I can go with the name, right? Name. So sign in. Here name, I can change it to name, and I can give the name as login. then after that I can go with the forgot password link, so it is also link here, so I can go with that link text. This is forgotten password, so I can go with that link text. Forgot link, so do not give any space in the variable name, please be remember. So that's so I can remember it. Okay, now say in case I am giving any random number and password, any random value, and it is not matching, and after that I am clicking on the login button, so some error message will be triggered, right? And also I need to validate the error message, right? So now it is coming different way. Okay, some error message is coming now. It is not throwing the correct error message. Let's go with email @ give anything. Try to click on the login button, so it will throw some error message. We need to validate, add some assertion point, right, for that email field, right? So that is the part I need to validate, that error message is coming or not. So I need to inspect the error message. Press on the F12 button again. So I need to create some field for error message, right? So let's create some field for error message. So by error message in home page. Okay, so here I can go for XPath. I need to create XPath. So let's create XPath. So let's try to inspect it. Okay, so that is the div and that is the class. I think that's, so with that help one I can create XPath. So let's go for the div, div, then select one, then add the red class. And what is the class? Let's try to select one. That is the class equal to sign. Okay, you can see with the help of that XPath you are able to get the error message, right? So I will be creating XPath. Okay, then I will be creating the important method, right? So suppose say first I will be creating a method for email here, enter email. Okay, so public void enter email driver dot find element, you know. Okay, you can give it find element, and then that part you can replace it, right? Because that path already created, right, by .id, you can directly simply replace with that one. So that is the beauty. So in case you need to change it, only you need to be updating here, any properties, anything new field you need to update it. And then here send keys, you can create a variable here, suppose say, right, you can pass some variable string email. So I'll be passing it. So that's how you can create important method. So nothing is hard coded, right? Driver.find element email, driver.find. One second, let me check.
We have to email.
Yeah. Okay, enter email. So that's why. Similarly for the English one, right? First we need to click on the English UK. So I'll be creating void click English UK. So no need to give any kind of stuff, because it's simply I need to click here So it will be driver dot find element, and that will be variable name, and I need to perform simply click operation. Okay, so then your click here, I need to give. Then similarly for the password, enter password. So here it will be password field, and it will be enter password. Okay, similarly forgotten password link also I need to click here. So void click forgot link. So path only changing the reference here. Okay, another one is I want to validate the error message, right? So I will be, because the error message I want to get it, right? So suppose say public get error message, get error message home page. Okay, get error message home page. So I'll be getting the error message with the help of message variable, storing it equal to driver dot find element. So what is the element name? Element name is error message home page. Then I want to get the error message, so it will be get text, right? Get text. Then as it is a string, so I need to store in some string variable, string message. I can print it out something if I want to print it out, so that message I can print it out, and then I'll be returning the message, right? Return message. So its return type is string, so I need to give some return type string. Why message? Return. Okay, so that is the different methods also I have written with for each and for that home page, right, along with the properties. So this is the way I am calling page object model design pattern. With the help of by, I am trying to identify with the help of element locator technique, and instead of that find element by one, I am directly calling that variable, and I am creating each and every method. In case I want to enter something, so I am directly trying to, instead of hard coding, I am trying to create some kind of value, right? I want to pass some variable, so that I will be calling those one. And now in the base page, right, so I already set up, I have already called the method setup, right? Then whatever I will be calling it, I will be calling it first, click on the UK part, right? So I will be calling that importance method called click English UK. Then I will be calling enter email, and here I want to enter some email, right? I can directly hard code it. Instead of hard coding, I can give it here like that. Okay, then I can give enter password, anything I can give it. Then I can use click forgot password. So that's why you need to write your method name. In case it is a click, you need to start with click, so at any point of time you can easily identify. In case it is enter, right, in case it is a verify, error message, so you need to start with that way, right? After that I need to validate the error message, right? Okay, So for validating the error message, definitely I can use some assertion, right? Okay. So let's first get the error message. Okay. So how we will be getting the error message? First, let's store some error message. String expected error, right? Equal to, what is the expected error? So that is your expected error. I can store it here, right? So that is your expected error. Then actual error, how can you get it? Let's create a string actual error message equal to, with the help of that one you can call that method, right? Dot get error message, you can call the method, so you can get the actual error. Okay, now you can add some hard assertion or soft assertion, right? So I'll be creating a soft assert. So I am just utilizing everything whatever has been taught so far. New soft assert. So in case of soft assert, so test case will not be failed, right? The remaining lines of code execution will be successful. That is the reason better to use soft assert. Now essay dot assert equal, right, string, you can go for the string one. So what is the string? First one you need to give the expected one and then actual error message. So in case it is fine, so it will throw not throw any error, otherwise it will give error. Essay dot assert all. Okay, now let's try to run your code and let's see how it is behaving. So it will open the Chrome browsers, maximize it, it will try to launch the Facebook page. So it will wait for 30 minutes implicit time, whatever is given. It will enter the email password, right? After clicking on the English UK options, and it will click on the login. Okay, sorry, forget password click, it is clicking instead of login click, right? Once again. So here I did not okay, I have clicking on the forget password link. Okay, so I need to click on that one. Dot click. Okay, I don't think that I have written a method. I need to write a method here.
That's why I was wondering that why.
Yeah. So I need to create a method for click sign in button. So that is the beauty. In case something you missed, you need to just go to the page directly, right? And you can just enter a method or something like that. If you want to update the method, you can also update the method. Click sign in, SIGN sign in link. So here I will be simply using sign in button. So you can see how easily you can correct your code, right? You will be simply calling that one. Now click sign in. Okay, you can come. Okay, now it's done. Now let's try to call it, run in your test case, and let's see how fast it is running, how fast you can able to fix your code with the help of page object model design pattern and Maven project. Because you already know for each and every page, right, you are creating a separate page class, and you know that what are the method, what are the field you need to capture for that page. You can easily go to that page and you can easily find out the element properties or add the element properties and create the important method. So you'll be entering, clicking on the button, English UK button, and then entering ID password, clicking on the login button, right, and then it is validating the email and password, sorry, that message In case it is correct, it's fine. In case it is not correct, it is not. I mean, it will throw the error. Test case will not be passed. Okay, it's failure. Test case is failed one. What is the error message? Okay, what is actually is coming? The email or mobile number entered is not connected to your account, but found. I think create a new Facebook account. Okay, now okay, now some error, another error message is coming, so I can customize it. Okay, so maybe that is the different error message coming. So definitely that's so in case you need to update it, right? So let's try to change it. Let's see, let's change it, expected one here, and let's put in some notepad. In case some space is also entered, right, it will not considered, right, it will fail. Let's expect it. Okay. And now I can also quit the driver, right? After assert all is done, I can use that quit driver. So in case it is working fine, it will quit the driver or close, tear down method I will call. Okay, here first I need to give the actual one, actual error message, then expected one. Let's try to run it and let's see now. Again got failed, same error message, email address or mobile number find your account is expected also that one. Let's try to go through once. Expected was that, right, create a new Facebook, but found email address or mobile you entered is not connected to the account. It is again got changed. Last time whatever is there, right, so it's got changed. Let's try to give it again. So Facebook, I mean, sometimes the error message is coming, sometimes another error message is coming. So you no need to worry about that. So in case you are following the process, so in case each error message is coming, so it will be failed test cases, right? Because here two error messages coming. One time is another, and another time it is sometimes find your account and login. So let's try for one more time. In case error message is correct, so it will pass your test case. Otherwise, rest of the thing is perfectly fine. Our approach is perfectly fine. So we already created a Maven project. In the Maven project, there is 4 folders: SRC test Java, SRC main Java, SRC test resources, main resources, and we are creating multiple packages for base classes, right, and for capturing the page details, and we are also creating test cases. We are creating the properties file, and we are uploading all our importance file, right? You can see it's passed. So it's got matched, so it's also close the driver. In case it is passed, it is closing the driver. So that's you can find, right? Test case is got passed, and error message also printed out here, right? It is matching. Test case is got passed. So that's why you can create your test cases. Now I will show you, suppose another page, right? So here in the Facebook page, suppose say now I already created that important thing for forgotten password link, and I want to click on that forgotten password link, right? So it will open me another page called forgotten password. So I'll be creating another business page here, right? So that is my pages. So I'll be creating another class. So what is the page name? I can give the page name as forgotten password page. Okay. Similar way, I need to give other part. So I already know that need to click here. I need to click on that one. I need to click on the search button. So okay. So say I've been inspecting it. So with the help of name equal to email, I can go ahead, or ID equal to identify email, I can go ahead, right? So I'll be creating okay. So first I will be using that field called mobile number, and I will be identifying with the help of ID, right? Then button name is search button. Okay, so here it will be search button. Let's try to inspect the search button. So you can see ID equal to name equal to did submit, name with the help of name. Now I will be creating two methods here. One is enter and one is click search button. You can see how easily you can do it, right? So public void entered mobile number. Okay. You can see here enter, same pattern you can follow. So it will give you very easy understanding mobile number. So I can pass because it's I need to enter some number, divert or find element. This is my mobile number field. Okay, I need to extend, right, base class. So every time you are creating a class, so page for the page, right, you need to extend the test base class, otherwise it will throw the error. Okay, now it's gone, and then I want to click on search button, click search button. Can keep it S button, yes, caps. So that's why I can return to read, right? Okay. So here it's my done. My page is done for this one. Then I'll be creating another test case. New other test engine class, right? I'll be creating another test case where the help of another class. So test forgot password page. This is my another test case, right? So I can change the test. Right. Similar way, whatever way I have created it here, I'll be creating another test cases, right? So fine. What's the error message coming? I need to add throws declaration exception. So I am clicking on that link, UK password link. Then I can give some enter email or password, right? if I want to give it, otherwise I do not, I want to do not need to give it. After that I am clicking that method, right, dot click forgot password link, right. Then I'll be going to that another page, so I need to create a object or instance for that class again here. So forgot password page. So I need to import it from that relevant class. Then I will be using that part, and then I will be getting all the important method, right, enter email on whatever is written in that page, right. So mobile number, enter, I can give something called anything which is not relevant. Then I'll be giving which is not relevant, otherwise it will create some problem. Then I will be using dot click search, right, better. So that's why I can create it, and I will be quitting the driver, right. So here dot tear down, okay. So that's why I can create another test case. Let's try to run it from here. Let's see whether it's running properly or not. So you can see how easily, right, we can create kind of page class for multiple pages, and how we can add test case whatever required after accessing all the pages, right. So you'll be writing the methods one time and you'll be using them multiple times, multiple test cases. So that is the beauty of that concept, page object model design pattern. It is clicking on the forgotten password link, it is navigating to the next page, and it is entering the mobile number. You can see it's clicking on the search button and it's including the driver. So you can, your test case is getting passed, right. So now you are able to run it one test case one by one. Now if I want to run both the test case at the same time, right, so what we need to do? So I will be covering that part, how you can implement of testng, right. So you need to select the project and you need to right click here and you need to convert it convert to testng. Then I can click on the finish. So if you want to give the suite name, suppose say Facebook page suite, Facebook page. So that's why whatever page you want to add, you will be adding as part of your com.pages, and test case also you can add similar way, right. So I have given example of 2, you can add 10 to 100. I'm clicking on the finish, so it is converting to the testng project, and immediately you can see that testng.xml file will be generated, right. So if you open the testng.xml files, right, you can remove that base class and you can go for the 2 test case. One is test forgot password page and test failed page. So this will be executed based on the alphabetical order. So every time your Chrome browsers will be open and it will be closed, so no need to worry. So you can run it from here. So one by one test case execution will be done. So in case you are having 10 test cases, it will be run one by one. So every time your browsers will be open, test case will be executed, it will be closed, again it will be open, it will executed, and it will be closed. So forgotten password test case is running fast because it based on the alphabetical order. Okay. One test case executed, it will be passed and it will try to run for the other executed. Test Facebook page, FB page. Now here the test case will not be executed based on the alphabetical order. Instead of that, it will be executed based on the order you are giving into the testng.xml file, right. It will be executed based on that order. So now it is trying to execute, it will validate that, it will close it. So in case you can get to know your test case is passed or failed. Right? So that's why you can also convert your project to TestNG. Now say if you refresh your project, now in the target folders will be created based on your execution, right? Go to the target folder, test output folder, right? And there will be emailable report.html, right? If you right click here and if you open with web browsers, so you can get at least some sort of holistic report which is as part of automatically default part of testing. You can see, right? This is your test cases executed, right? And these are the different execution. What is the time, what is the pass or fail or like that. Okay, so that's why also you can get the details report. Now I want to run from my Maven, right, which is nothing but the pom.xml file. If I want to run it from here, so definitely it will fail because I need to add the Surefire and other compiler plugin, right, if I want to run it from the Maven test. So let's try to run it with the help of Maven test. So it will fail. So you need to add the Surefire plugin and Maven compiler, right? So I will be adding it. Let's fail it first. So that's why I can run it from the pom.xml file as well. So that is the beauty, right? I can run it from anywhere. So it will try to clean the project, it will try to compile it, and it will try to run it. So you can see there are messages, right? So I know that something need to add, which is the Maven compiler plugin and Maven Surefire plugin. So I have given here. So simply I need to add this before the project tag. So after the dependencies tag is getting over, I will be adding those things. And once added, I will be pressing save Ctrl S. So it is, you can see here it is building workspace, right? Once it is done, I can run it from now. Let's save it once more time. So I can also run my project, whatever test case I have written, right, from the Maven test. So you can see it is cleaning the project, it is trying to compile it. In case any compilation, it will throw it, otherwise it will trying to execute it, right? Maven test, compile, clean, compile, and then test. So
where have you given the commands actually for clean and those things?
no, it automatically, if you run Maven test, automatically Maven clean compile will run first, and then it will try to test it. Similarly, if you run Maven package, right, so it will try to first run clean, then compile, then test, and it will try to convert in some packaging format, right, WAR file or jar file.
Yeah. What does it do in clean actually? Does it?
That means suppose in case some history is there, right, so suppose you already executed last time, so it will first clean the repo, right, all the details from your that path, right, that path, I will show you, yeah, target path, everything will be clean, delete it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, you can see both the test cases got passed here. So yeah, you can see total number time, yeah, right, 2 total number run, 2 test case passed. Now if you refresh your project again, you can see here, right, there is a target folder, right, you can see, right, it is generated, the target folder, it will be getting some files, right. That's why instead of test output folder, because if you run through Maven, you will get everything in the target folder, not the output folder, right? So you can get everything same way. Now I was showing, right? Suppose in case you are telling that what is clean. So if you run as Maven clean, you can see here it's there, right? You just run only Maven clean. You can see that target folder will be, everything will be removed from the target folder, because it will try to delete everything, clean your target folder. Then compiles means any kind of error it will try to give you before running the test cases, right? And test means it will run your test case. Now if you go refresh your project, so you have clean now, right? You can see here the target folder, we want to expand it, target folder nothing is available, right? Everything got removed, means cleaned. Okay, so that's why you can create, first you can create your Maven project. So there will be by default 4 folder will be created: src main java, test java, src main resources, test resources. In src main java we can create multiple packages, right, for base class, listeners, pages, utilities. And src test resources you can create multiple folder, executables, log, properties, test data, right? And in the src test java folder we can create packages called test cases, and we can create multiple test cases. So if you want to add multiple pages, you will be adding in the pages, and in the pages you can add all the properties and all the importance method here, right? And after that in the test cases you can try to call those method, and in case of any assertion you can add it, hard assertion or soft assertion. So that's way you can build your test cases, and you can run your test case with either from the testng class or testng.xml file or the pom.xml file, right? So remaining part, listeners, how to capture the screenshot, what is report ng, what is the extend report, I'll be covering in the next session. Okay, so we'll meet on next Sunday. Okay, that's all for today's session. Thank you.